flour. Oh, peaches. I was such a little girl, but I remember I always had a really good memory, and my father worked on a peach farm, and look how beautiful. Oh, aren't those gorgeous? And it was a peach orchard, and it was one of his first jobs, and so my mom and I took him a sandwich and some coffee out to the field, peach orchard. Mm-hmm. And as we pulled up, there was the owner's house, and there was a big door, and the lady came up, and she didn't have any legs. All I saw was this talking woman's head, and she didn't have any legs. She'd been in the basement. She was walking up the stairs. I had never seen anything. I was 3. And there was the husband standing out there on the dirt. And finally the lady stepped out, and I was like, thank God she has legs. I thought she didn't have any legs. I was starting to get freaked out. Now the next step in the pie crust.
Could you hold on a second?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Sandie.
Hi, Gregg.
Welcome to Foodgradefood. We have a super treat today. Sandie has, she's going to be making memories today. We're making a pie, a super peach pie. And I really going to enjoy this because Sandie makes a really good crust. You have secrets, and I've been fortunate enough to eat several of her pies, and they're all good. So today we're doing a peach pie, and we have our stuff set up. We have our peaches ready and our flour sifted, and now we're going to get into the secrets of Sandie's
pie crust. Okay, and speaking of the filling, we need to thicken that up in a minute.
Oh yeah,
but we're going to do the butter first.
Right.
So one of the secrets I've learned, and my mom was the best cook and dessert maker on earth, I think.
Peaches, you have a lot of stories, but
yes.
You've been making pies since when?
3 years old.
3 years old. It's been 32 years she's been doing this.
That's right.
So you have the secret.
Well,
that I'm
and the
super
way
interested
that
in.
3 years old, you've got to know, my dad made me a stool. So I always had a little stool to stand on, and I could be with my mom. And she made pies, and my dad wanted dessert every night. And one of the things we loved was peach pie, peach cake, peach cobbler. But when she made peach pie, I always watched how she made the dough. Mm-hmm. And then as I became an adult and tried, sometimes they were horrifying. Sometimes they were like you might as well play hockey with them. Hard, and I was going, what in the world are the secrets? Mm-hmm. So I kept trying and trying. And one of the things I found out was good, pure butter. Thank you for buying this. This is
Kerrygold's really nice. That's
awesome. Good. And then another thing, some of the recipes say just chop your butter up. No, what I do, you have to remember your hands are hot. In the pie crust, you want everything as cold as possible. Some people even put everything in the freezer. I mean, they're serious.
Sure.
Because you want the science of the butter reacting to the flour. Right. And if it's hot from your hand, it'll turn it into like a biscuit or something. You know,
right? Because that's
that
putting
you don't mind.
That's melted butter.
Right.
We're not doing
You don't want it melted. You want to
So I'm gonna
touch
open
it
this.
as little as possible.
Let's open this up real quick.
2.5. All right. So one of the things that I have found out, rather than chopping it, is grating it. Grating it.
That's such a good idea.
And then it's already small, and you just have to watch out. Of course, like all grating. We've all had that.
Let's not get into Mandarin
No,
stories.
let's not. Oh no.
But the grating keeps it in a chunky form. It's not. It's very smart. It's smart.
It is, because you're going to have to incorporate it with our other tool, our pie crust. What do you call it? Pastry thing.
I don't know what that is. I know what you're talking about, though.
Right, I'll show you in a minute.
So you can see it. Your hands are warming up.
It's already warming it up.
It's super quick.
Just, I know. That's why they say have it in the freezer. So that's why I always keep butter in the freezer, and then if I'm going to make a pie dough or even biscuits, that's why biscuits are so good if you use cold. Everything cold. Back in the day, I was finding out about different people doing different food things and butter artists. Like ice sculpture people, they all have to work in the walk-ins. Because if you think about it, yes, and there's whole butter sculpture people. Just try to get all of it out of here you can. Now that we have it shredded, is to incorporate it in that flour and salt with this tool, pastry cutter.
So then we move in that.
Here.
So this is our flour. We set it up.
Right. And all you do is just get it in there and then start cutting it as fast as you can, and show you how that goes. And it's just kind of a pushing action as you turn the bowl around. Kind of keep it moving. Keep in mind, if you have to clear this off, that's fine, but you don't want to be touching it too much. You know, if possible, you want to keep it as cool as possible.
So it's not mixing. You're not mixing it up to a paste. You're
cutting it.
You're cutting it in, and you're keeping it just butter and flour and butter, and then as it cooks and goes through the whole kneading process, it kind of melts a little bit into each other.
Right, and that's why a pie crust is either flaky or not. Is the fat that you use. Some people use Crisco or butter stick. Our old relatives used to, because they didn't have butter available unless they lived on a farm.
It's fat.
It's just the fat, whatever you want to use.
Working it until you go for the flour that hasn't been touched yet, and
and then you keep doing it. Then you keep doing it. Till it all gets about the size of, like, they say, like small peas or something like that. So you want all the flour incorporated into the butter. And I've tried it both ways. Or all three ways, with all Crisco, like my mom used to do, or Crisco and butter, or all butter.
What do you like the best?
And they're all good. They're all good. I love crust. What can I say?
Right.
I absolutely love crust.
You don't put any sugar or any flavors into your crust?
No.
It's butter and flour.
Right. Actually,
no
what
water.
I usually do, there will be water after a minute, but you've got to get this all cut together. You can do it for a while. Just push it down and keep working it. There you go.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, it feels so helpful. Oh, I see. And then the big lumps, you just cut them in.
Just keep cutting them in.
I just want to look at this again. It's almost like a little knife, but it's a smart little tool. I've never used it. When did you start? When did you start using it?
When I was 3.
This.
Yes.
This is what you've used all the time, and
not that particular one, but that tool.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. My mom would teach me how to do it, and I'd make a mess and drop flour everywhere and stuff. Oh,
so
yeah.
you were literally 3 years old when your mom said, "Okay, you wanted to make the pie?"
Well, yeah. I mean.
Yeah, but I don't know too many 3-year-olds that are going to sit there and make a pie.
Well,
but you were set
we
up
were.
to.
We were. I respected what my mom was doing, and what she would do. I just thought of something else, because she had to cook all the time. There were no restaurants, and we always lived way out in the country, so we had to make our own food, right?
Right.
And my dad always wanted dessert every single night. Every night, right? So that would be cake, pie, cookies, fudge, pudding, fruit. I mean, something. So I learned. Whoa! I learned to cook.
It's coming together. It looks like it's.
It
like,
will. See how they're going to become uniform.
Totally, yeah.
Yep. My mom gave me pans, and I would make mud pies out in the back, and I would get the texture just right, and oh, they would be beautiful. And she would come out and sit with me, and so I made real pies in the house and mud pies out in the yard. Right.
It's just a press.
You're almost there, huh?
Oh yeah. My sisters make good pie crust too.
You learn what to do, and then you just keep doing it over and over.
Right, perfecting it.
I'll trade you that tool now for a fork. The next thing is adding some ice water.
Oh, really?
Ice water, which you don't want the ice cubes in there, but you just start out with a little bit.
Huh.
And you're just wanting it to form together in a ball.
Now this is coagulating it all.
Yes. See how the lumps are getting bigger?
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Say
Perfect. When?
When?
Okay, I can feel it's getting heavier now, and you can see it.
Yeah. Holy cow!
And see, we've hardly touched the butter or the.
Yeah.
People don't realize. Oh, and then it's not bread. You don't have to knead it. You don't have to. Don't touch
You're
it.
just fluffing it around, and you're just like, kind of.
Right.
Well, really just pushing it together. Just look at that. Oh my gosh.
And then now the next step to find out if it's where you want it is all a matter of feeling. All right, does that feel like a pie crust? It kind of does.
Oh, look at
feel that.
Oh, look
that's
at
just
that.
About right,
That's
huh?
totally right.
I think that's just about right.
Oh, you know what? It's a little softer.
Maybe we'll add a little more.
Play-Doh.
Right.
It's like, you know what it is?
Yes.
It's.
So we have to make sure it's going to stick together.
Put it all together.
I think it's good.
I think it's really good. Look at
Could have a little bit more flour just to make it a little stronger. A little more tough. But we don't want to get it too dry.
Right. Oh.
So.
And I'll just tell the people watching right now that is years of experience.
Yes, 32.
That's cool. 32
What did you say? 32 years?
32 years have you been doing? That's really good.
Right.
So now you're gonna pop it out and you
get it out and put it in the flour, and you want to get it sort of all hooked together without adding, because when you put it here, you start adding more flour. Too dry.
Densifies.
Yes. Okay, and we've got our beautiful clear acrylic rolling pin. I love that. All right, let's go here. So what we're gonna do, keep in mind this is gonna want to stick.
Yeah.
It's going to want to. So we add a little more flour, kind of keep it going.
Yeah. You flip it at all? Or
oh no, this is always the top.
You're always the top, and so
that's
it's
always the top, and that other one's always the bottom. Right.
You would normally try to get it even and stuff.
Yeah,
but
no.
Right.
All right, just roll a little bit of flour on the pin, and start in the middle and go out, trying to keep it consistent.
Even.
Even, like some of it's really fat and some is really thin. That means no, it's good. That means it's going to cook at different times, and so you want it consistent so it
just even and nice.
Cooks at the same time. Oh, there are some really, really cool things for pie makers or cookie dough makers, and it's like a little frame that would hold it exactly the same height.
Oh, right. Yeah, right.
Right. All right. And I like my pie dough thin, kind of thin, and so it gets crispy and yummy.
That's just a little bit more than like a
All right.
quarter inch.
Thank you. Here's the test. You want help?
Oh, sure.
Sure. Pick up any sides you want and let's go. Thank you for helping.
There.
Perfect. Oh yeah, that's awesome. There we go. Oh, perfect. Now I can feel that feels a little thick to me, so I want to kind of pull it up and make it thin, make it thinner. And you want it all the way to this edge down in here, because otherwise when it cooks, it'll shrink.
It does shrink.
So you don't want that too much. Okay. The next step is putting this crimp on it, which I always like to do. And I've done the lattice and all that kind of stuff, but the first thing I like to do is get the edge, right? And this pie plate is so awesome because there's a big wide edge, so I can decorate.
It's that wide.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you do is hold the pie plate up, put a little flour on your knife, hold your knife up and down like this. So you don't want to face it in or anything, you just want to cut straight down.
Slice it off.
Slice it off, make it all nice and even. Whoa!
Hey,
Wild! Okay, we'll put that over there. And then the secret to this pie dough fluting that I love is you take your your finger and your thumb, and then one finger, and you're going to go like this. That's the motion. Keeping in mind, you're going to want to kind of pull up, because as it cooks, it's going to want to go down in, and you don't need that. Okay, so we're going to go right up here, but not push down too much. See, that might be just almost too hard. And you just go around and around. All these little hills and valleys get crunchy. After you do 2 or 3 pies a day, you get really fast. Yeah. All right.
There you go.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Now what we're gonna do is get that fork and stab some holes in the bottom for air, and then because this heat is gonna buckle it all up.
How long does that go into the oven?
15 minutes or 20 minutes. We just want to start baking the flour. If you can get fresh peaches in the summer, get them. You can't beat it, but for the rest of the year and for most people, that's not a luxury. So we're using a half a cup of sugar, saved peach juice. It's basically thickening it up. So there's one. Let's see how much more is left. I think we gotta do it. It's almost 2. That's perfect. Whisk it a little bit. Peaches are subtle. What we need is 1/4 cup cornstarch. Okay. And then when we get this just right, we'll add in the peach slices. They call it blind baking. Pie weight.
Some people put all those pie weights.
Right, to keep it down.
What do you think of that?
Well, I've used them and they're a pain in the ass, so I just dab holes in the bottom. So all you're trying to do is let the air out.
Right. Oh.
All right, you could have that. That's
Oh yeah.
just gonna be really low and slow.
Low and slow.
So we want that to thicken up, and I want it to
Oh,
prove
that.
to me before we pour it in there.
Pour it in there, because if it just won't wet out, that needs to be gelatinous.
Thicker, yes,
Super
right.
Okay.
Gelatinous, that's a good word.
It's kind of the trick of it. You don't want to put something in there that's going to make this soggy and so.
We want this thick, the peach vibe.
The peach vibe.
Not quite yet.
It's one of those things that you do have to do slow.
Oh, it's changing, see?
Ooh, yeah.
It's getting
Oh, there you go.
viscous
Oh,
on
yeah,
the bottom.
That's it.
That's what we want. And some of this white even will become clear.
Watching the drips.
So pretty. And you want to keep this thing going so it doesn't stick. Because boy, it wants to as it gets thicker. See, it just now got, it just changed something else again.
The whole viscosity of it just changed.
Right.
Look at that.
Now it's getting harder and
oh,
harder.
look at it. I'm going to show, because it looks like a
It
cool
looks
thing.
awesome.
You can see how the viscous, oh, there it goes.
All right.
Take this down.
Yeah, down or all the way off.
Off.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, because we don't have, it's not a cooking thing, it's just a
No, it's just
thickening.
heating. If we need a little bit more liquid, here's a little bit more. You don't want to waste this.
Look at that. Oh,
That's going in that pie shell once it's cooked.
totally.
Oh, nearly.
There you go. Okay, the temperature is 400 degrees.
Well, with the pie crust, it's got to be hot. And we're just wanting to toast this for like 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
Okay?
let's do a 10-minute thing.
Blind bake. Because if you don't do it and you put your filling in, it's going to take so long. So just cook the pie dough 2/3 of the way done and then put your filling in. Oh, this filling looks awesome. Look at this. Can you see this? Oh,
And I'm just gonna do it for 8 minutes just so we can watch it. Oh,
Okay.
that looks really good.
look at the viscosity. Peaches, my
All right.
favorite of all time.
The crust is in. We have our filling. So we do that all again.
It's still soft. Let's wait. Let's let it get a little bit more done.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Just keep pushing it together and
That's pretty good. Might as well get all the good stuff and
I'll
just put
get
it in
every
there.
bit of it. Now, let's put on the egg wash first, and then
And
these,
then these.
and then put more
More wash.
egg wash on that. We
Okay.
might need another egg. But
There you go.
it's one beautiful pie. You want a little bit more sugar?
Sure. No.
All right, let's do. Because it'll caramelize.
Yeah. So.
Okay,
Here we
there we go.
go.
Watch out. Okay,
Let's put that. Well, I'll put it in front, back.
toward the front.
Towards the front. Okay, we're gonna put these in there, right there. All right. So how long is it? How
Perfect.
long is that?
20 minutes.
Sweet. Okay. Let's check the pie. Oh, these are ready.
Those are
done.
beautiful. Oh, my mom, like I said, she always had to be making desserts. So when she would make pie, she would always have some extra, and she would have all of our little hands, and she would go around it with a knife. So we had hand cookies, and she would sprinkle sugar on it, or sugar and cinnamon.
Hand cookie crust.
Yes.
Hand crust cookies.
Yes, so good, so good.
Oh, that is great.
Yes, so I always remember that. She would take pie dough and make a circle, cut it out with a saucer, and then make fruit filling and make hand pies. Half.
What's the timer say?
It says we're done.
It says we're done.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, I have to get this into the
I'm gonna put this.
super. There you go. That's a pie.
That's a pie right there.
Super pie maker.
By cooking the first crust a little bit by blind baking, we can guarantee that there's no soggy bottoms.
No soggy bottoms.
Nobody
no
needs a soggy bottom.
Boys. So, thanks for showing up again. Peach pie, you can make it.
You can make it. It's so good.
Cold butter grated. That's the key.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait to eat it. So good. Food grade food, peach pie. Sandie Rymal, GreggEgg, Food Grade Food. Thanks for showing up. Peace.
Bye.